The Resilience of Sam, A Journey from Bullying to Strength. Sam was a 10th grade student with a deep love for learning. He was a quiet, introspective boy who found comfort in books and enjoyed the solitude of his own thoughts. His shy demeanor and small stature made him an easy target for the more aggressive students at school. They mocked his passion for reading, calling him names like nerd and teacher's pet. The bullying wasn't just verbal. They would shove him in the hallways, knock his books out of his hands, and occasionally corner him after school to make him feel powerless. The constant harassment began to weigh heavily on Sam. At first, he tried to ignore it, hoping that if he didn't react, the bullies would lose interest. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the bullying only intensified. It felt like a dark cloud that followed him everywhere, casting a shadow over every aspect of his life. Psychologically, Sam was unraveling. The anxiety he felt before going to school became crippling. He would wake up in the morning with a knot in his stomach, dreading what the day would bring. His mind, once sharp and eager to learn, was now foggy and distracted. His grades, which had always been his pride, started to slip as he found it harder and harder to concentrate on his studies. The teachers noticed the change in him, but Sam, too ashamed to admit the truth, kept his suffering to himself. Sam's psychological state deteriorated rapidly. He became withdrawn, avoiding interactions with others whenever possible. At lunch, he would sit alone, eating quickly so he could retreat to the library, where he felt somewhat safe. His once lively conversations with his parents dwindled to short, vague responses. He didn't want them to worry, so he pretended everything was fine, even though he felt like he was falling apart inside. Physically, Sam's body language reflected his inner turmoil. He walked with his head down, shoulders hunched, and hands clenched tightly around his books as if they were a shield against the world. His once clear, focused eyes were now clouded with worry and fear. He developed a habit of fidgeting, nervously tapping his fingers on his desk or biting his nails until they bled. The bullying was not only breaking him down mentally and emotionally but was also manifesting in his physical presence. One day, after an especially cruel encounter where Jake and his gang cornered him in the locker room, Sam reached his breaking point. He felt utterly defeated, as though he had no control over his life. That night, as he lay in bed, his mind racing, something inside him shifted. He realized that if he didn't take control of his situation, nothing would change. He was tired of feeling weak and helpless, tired of letting others dictate his life. Determined to change, Sam began searching online for ways to build his confidence and strength. He stumbled upon a YouTube channel dedicated to martial arts, specifically karate. The idea of learning karate intrigued him. He saw it as a way to not just defend himself but to rebuild his confidence and reclaim his life. Sam began to watch the videos religiously, practicing the moves in his small bedroom late at night when everyone else was asleep. The initial days were tough. His body, weakened by months of stress and inactivity, struggled to keep up with the demands of the training. But Sam was determined. He started with the basics, learning the stances, punches, and kicks. Each day, he pushed himself a little harder, finding solace in the rhythm of the practice. The physical exertion helped to clear his mind, and for the first time in months, he felt a sense of purpose. As weeks turned into months, Sam's dedication to karate began to pay off. His body grew stronger, and with that strength came a newfound confidence. He noticed subtle changes in himself. His posture improved. He no longer walked with his head down but held it high, his shoulders back, and his gaze steady. The nervous fidgeting disappeared, replaced by a calm, controlled demeanor. His eyes, once filled with fear, now held a spark of determination and resilience. Mentally, Sam was transforming as well. The discipline required by karate taught him to focus, to control his emotions, and to stay calm under pressure. These lessons translated into his academic life. Slowly, he regained his ability to concentrate in class. His grades started to improve as he applied the same discipline to his studies that he did to his karate practice. The fog of anxiety that had clouded his mind began to lift, and he started to enjoy learning again. Socially, Sam began to interact with others differently. The fear that had once dominated his interactions was gone. He started to speak up more in class, answering questions confidently and even offering to help his classmates with their studies. His peers noticed the change in him, the way he carried himself, the quiet confidence in his voice, and began to respect him. Even the bullies sensed that something was different. Jake and his gang, who had once found pleasure in tormenting Sam, now left him alone. They could see that he was no longer the weak, scared boy they had once terrorized. Sam's journey from a bullied, anxious student to a strong, confident young man was not easy, but it was transformative. Through sheer determination and the discipline he gained from karate, he took control of his life and changed his circumstances. He learned that true strength comes not just from physical power but from mental resilience, self-discipline, and the courage to stand up for oneself. Now, as Sam walks through the school corridors, he does so with confidence. He knows that he has the strength to handle whatever challenges come his way. Sam's story is a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of self-belief, and the incredible things that can happen when you refuse to let others define your worth. Hope you liked the story. If you want any change, feel free to comment.